Let's find out why. In Surah 18, we read about the sleepers of the cave, a group of people who supposedly went to sleep in a cave and woke up 300 years later. This fable goes back to people like Bishop Stephen of Ephesus around the middle of the 5th century. It was popular among the Christians of Arabia. They knew it wasn't true. They treated the story as a fable. But now it's in the Quran, and more than 1 billion people believe that it really happened.
Okay, so David Wood again commits the genetic fallacy and the post ergo propter hoc fallacy. He also doesn't understand that there are true stories found in these apocryphal sources, and both the Bible and the Quran are confirming that there are true stories by repeating them. This specific story is not found in the apocryphal sources, but it's found in the writings of an early church father or a later church father, and the writings found in some 4th and 5th century Greek sources. I think it's Christian sources or something like that. But anyways, it's found in Greek sources predating Islam. So look at the hypocrisy of David Wood here. He says, well, this is a fable found in Christian apocryphal sources, but the New Testament itself quotes from non-biblical sources that's truthful. See Acts chapter 17 verse 28, see Titus chapter 1 verse 12 to 13, see 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 8, see Acts chapter 20 verse 35, etc. So, and again, Jude copies off 1 Enoch. So basically, if you read the New Testament verses that you just see on the screen right there, it shows that the New Testament itself quotes from non-biblical sources, because this shows that some non-canonical sources do have some truth in them. So David Wood is being inconsistent because the New Testament itself quotes from non-canonical sources as having truth in them, as you've seen in the previous slide. David Wood also doesn't understand that there is a historical core to the story. In other words, the story is based on an actual historical event, and that the cave of the 7 sleepers found in Ephesus, Turkey, thus confirming that the story was based on a historical location, and the actual cave of the 7 sleepers was found. The following pictures of the next few pictures you're going to see is of the 7 sleepers. So, back in, I think, the early or the middle 19th century, in 1960 or 1950, they found the cave of the 7 sleepers in Turkey. And you're going to see the pictures right now of that cave. So this is the cave that they found in Turkey, or the inside of the cave that was turned into a church in Turkey in the late, they found this cave in the 1960s or 1950s. I don't remember when, but they found this cave in recent archaeological diggings in Turkey, or, they found the actual site of the 7 sleepers, and you're looking at the pictures right now. So let's look at another picture right here. See, notice how they have the graves of the 7 sleepers, etc. So if you read the Quran chapter 18, you see that the Quran perfectly describes the cave and the inscription on the cave and what happened to the cave. Because after the 7 sleepers died, they converted the cave into a church, and the Quran actually details that account. And people before the Prophet Muhammad, or people of Prophet Muhammad's time, didn't know what happened to the cave, etc., because the cave was under Roman rule and the Arabs didn't have access to it. Moreover, the story wasn't translated to Arabic. The first mention of the story was done by Jacob of Syro in the 5th century. So there was an earlier Greek source, at least 50 years before Jacob of Syro, and it was composed in Greek and Syriac, and there is no evidence that it was translated into Arabic, and that story found its way into Arabia. After all, the Quran testifies that the Arabs before Islam didn't know these apocryphal or biblical tales in the Quran chapter 11 verse 49. So according to the Quran chapter 11 verse 49, the people Prophet Muhammad and the people around the Prophet Muhammad didn't know the stories, the biblical and apocryphal stories. So how can the Prophet Muhammad copy if his people didn't even know the story? So he didn't get the story around him. The conclusion we can draw is the Prophet Muhammad couldn't have copied the story because it wasn't available in Arabic, and the story is based on a historical event as they found in the Cave of the Sleepers. Moreover, this claim is a genetic